Hi, today I'm going to talk about the planets. The original word for planets comes from the word planeta in Latin, which means wanderer. And the reason why they called the planets wanderers is because our planets do not move around in the same way that the fixed stars are. Every night when people looked up in the sky, they could see these very set, what they called fixed stars, because they didn't move, they didn't really change. But they'd notice that these other bodies moved over time, and that is what it actually gave our early astronomers and astrologers the ability to see the planets and be able to understand what they were playing out. What I like to consider with the planets is that each one of them represents a personal need for us. I've been talking about the outer planets recently, and I'd like to actually just go through all the planets so that we have a better understanding of what we're talking about and how they affect us. My name is Michael Bartlett, Master Metaphysical Astrologer. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. My goal here is really to be sharing astrological wisdom and insights so that other people can understand the benefits and beauty of astrology. So, of course, when we talk about our solar system, the center of our solar system is the sun. The next planet we have is Mercury, then it goes Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and from Saturn on out, there are also a series of asteroids, which I won't really be getting into. But whether we look at the asteroids, whether we look at the planets, each one of these represent a personal need each of us have when we look at our own chart. So when we look at the sun, this is our need to shine out, to be seen, to be recognized. If you are a night birth, this is not going to be as strongly presented for you. It might be a little less important than your moon sign, which is the one planet that we don't really consider when we think of planets, as well as the sun. But the moon does represent the body that moves around us, so that's the second one I'll talk about. How the moon presents itself in the chart represents our body, our nurturing nature or our emotional nature. It can also represent our mother or the nurturing parent that we had growing up. We then have the planet Mercury, which is our need for communication, our need for movement, and the ways in which we process information and process as far as moving our bodies through time and space. When we have Venus, Venus represents our love and our need for being connected with other people through bonding, through loyalty, through the things that we value in life and our relationships. She really represents our needs for how we go about loving things in life, so to speak. Mars represents our need for moving forward. Very different than Mercury. Mercury kind of has a way that it will move through time and space in sometimes an erratic way, but Mars usually typically has a little bit more of a purpose for how we're looking at and doing things. So we want to look at Mars as our direction, our drive, our need for forward movement towards a goal, as well as our need to insert ourselves and put ourselves into things. The planet Jupiter represents the ways in which we have our needs for expanding and our philosophies and our need for higher understandings of things and the ways in which we make ourselves bigger and more able to be seen, so to speak. Saturn is our need for our structures, our rules, our limitations, the ways in which we need to grow in our own way. It's not an easy process, but it's something that's very necessary here on the Earth plane. Also refers sometimes to time and the ways of timing of things. Uranus is our need for a shock, change, and evolution, the ways in which we individuate ourselves from the collective and therefore technically kind of spice up the collective in a way because of our unique nature. Neptune is the planet which represents our need for spirituality and expansion and beauty in the sense of that which we create, the ways in which we need to merge with things and merge with others, the ways in which we're able to grapple and understand larger ideas, as I was talking about the outer planets yesterday. And then finally, we have the planet Pluto, which represents the ways in which we need power or we need to transform or change something different than Uranus in this way. Uranus's focus is really more of a focus on changing things for their evolutionary benefit, whereas Pluto is really about getting down to the basics. As I've said, the great and terrible simplification is a great way to think of Pluto. It's just that thing that kind of comes in and just removes that which is no longer necessary. Now, of course, each of these planetary needs is further affected by the ways in which they are in relationship to one another, which is what we call the aspects. So that, say we have a challenging relationship between two of our planets, we're going to have ways in which we're going to have to work a little harder on the ways we're going to be getting our needs met. Whereas those of us who have supportive aspects between planets are going to find that there's a way that things just flow in an easy and natural way. Please tune in to my other videos to find out more information and learn about astrology. And of course, I love your comments. Thank you so much for leaving them. Ask questions. Feel free to contact me if I can be of further service to you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.